Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. I was not ready. You hear me moving my chair and everything. I forgot my water bottle. Anyways, it is Thursday, February 19th, and we've got PPI numbers today. So I'm excited to see what has been happening with producer price inflation. So let's go to the charts, though, see how things have been going. You hear me okay? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so. Oh, that's not. Gold. Oh my gosh, gold continues to push higher. But Treasury's coming back a little bit. So we had a pretty good yesterday. We had a pretty good drop that then retraced, and now we're back down again. I'm starting to see some chinks in the armor of this long in the treasuries. Now, of course, I kind of thought that here as well. We'll see. I'm not so sure. I still see a lot of speculation in treasury. I'm just not convinced that this long in treasuries is sustainable. So E-mini, they had quite a bit of volatility yesterday. They did end up pushing lower after we stopped streaming, but then recovered by the end of the day. Today, moved back up, maybe kind of trading that point of control from Friday around 33.78. They did kind of, well, I mean, depending on if you want to see the gap between here and the closed, then, you know, we're going to have to go back up to 33.88.75. I don't know if they're going to do that today or not. We also have building permits news today. I think we have some more stuff. Red book. I thought that we had. Oh, I guess not. Oh, yes, we do. We have FOMC minutes today as well. So that's going to be a big impact. So I think that we'll see a little bit of volatility off of the PPI news. And then things might calm down a little bit. Might be slightly more constrained than normal until they get to the FOMC. So that's where we're at. How are you guys this morning? I have food. I did not eat all my food. You know, I keep having this issue where like my DNS resolution is slow when I restart in the morning, and I have to restart my computer to make it work. I don't know what happens at night, but something's happening with my domain name resolution. It does weird stuff. Speaking of which, I was having issues with the Elgato Control Center. Let's check for updates. Yes, install update. Thank you. Yes, sir. See, before it wasn't downloading the installer, so it was like taking forever. Okay, well, we got 10 minutes before the news shows up. We are looking for a core price producer inflation rate of spot 2 with the X energy rate at spot 2. Building permits looking for a reading of 1.45 million versus a previous reading of 1.42. It'll be interesting to see what the PPI ends up being. I think that it's going to be low because coronavirus and all that jazz, right? Right? Maybe? No? We'll see. Alligator, an hour ago. Well, not an hour ago, about 30 minutes ago, saying this market is a joke? Hmm. Well, it is swing around quite a bit this morning, hasn't it? Strong move up, and then it just like immediately reverses. Removing backup files. I think that's because the Elgato Control Center was leaving a lot of logs behind. And they fixed that. But that's why it's taking so long. I'd say they've moved down here off of the open pretty easily. Cool. Anyways. I had these waffles. If you guys ever had these Kodiak cakes, like they make waffles and pancake mix and stuff. And you know, it's just like a waffle, but it's got like 15 grams of protein in it. They're so good. Probably they're not that healthy. Like they have the protein, but probably everything else in them is not that healthy. But they're so good. I just think they taste so good. Why does Twitter not save my login? I don't understand. It wants me to re-log in every morning. That's the other thing that drives me crazy. All right, there it is. It has to text me a code and all this nonsense. Well, not nonsense. It's very important to protect your accounts. The Globe and Mail. U.S. urges EU to use 5G by Ericsson, Nokia, Samsung, seen on par with Huawei. Over concerns that Huawei has built-in backdoors that allow the Chinese to spy on our communications. The Hill poll, Sanders now leading 2020 Democrats by 15 points. 15. Okay, what was this a poll? According to new ABC News Washington Post poll, the survey found 32% of Democrats and Whoa, hold on. So he's got a 15-point lead, but only 32% lead. Do you guys remember when Donald Trump was running? They had said something like that he has like a 38% ceiling or something like that. And they're like, I don't know if we can win with a 38% ceiling. Here at Bernie Sanders, he's got 32%, but he's got a 15% lead, which means that Sanders is not necessarily incredibly strong, but that nobody likes his competition. What about Michael Bloomberg? Michael Bloomberg, who will appear in the first 2020 debate in Nevada on Wednesday night, trails Biden in third with 14%. Joe Biden has 17%. What about Pete? Pete Buttigieg experienced a 2-point jump to 7%. Buttigieg appears to be leading the field in delegate count, but has struggled to form a diverse coalition of support outside of predominantly white early voting states like Iowa and New Hampshire. Because supposedly everybody else doesn't like him because he's gay. That is just the most bizarre thing. Can you believe? If we went back a year, would you believe me if I told you that the Democrats' best chance to win the presidency and defeat Donald Trump was not able to win the Democrat nomination because he was gay? Would you believe me if I said that a year ago? That to me is just so crazy. But it is what it is. I wouldn't count him out yet. The thing is you got all of these, I'm going to say boomers, it seems like the boomers are the ones that are voting for or are claiming that they support Bloomberg. I suspect that when the voting comes, that he will underperform. Bloomberg will, and that these older voters, they will do their research just before they go to the polls and realize that they really don't want him. Anyways, so that's the political news. Dun, dun, dun. Bernie Sanders' National Press Secretary Bribey Joy tells John Berman, that requests for Bernie's health records are a smear campaign, and says Bloomberg has suffered heart attacks in the past. Man. Wait. Is that Bernie Sanders' campaign attacking another candidate? Hey, he can do it. Have you guys noticed that over the past weeks, like, all of the barbs have come out? Now that he's in the lead, the barbs have been coming out from Team Sanders, particularly going after Michael Bloomberg and Pete Buttigieg, who are seen as the most viable alternatives at this point. They don't attack Joe Biden anymore. Actually, they never really attacked Joe Biden. I think they always knew that he was gonna. They always knew that he was probably gonna implode. Okay, well, I have a little bit of food here. I should just stuff my face. Tell me what you guys think. We got the debate tonight. Do you think that there will be fireworks tonight at the debate? It sounds to me like everybody is just primed and ready to attack Mr. Bloomberg. All right.
Live Action says, I think there will be a lot of burbs out in this debate. I might watch for fun.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm I think I'm going to be home for it. I'm not going to stream it. I'm sorry. I'm still just not feeling very well. But I do think that they're going to come out and go after him. I think this will be much more entertaining than past debates. I wouldn't even be surprised to see them hit each other like Pete Buttigieg. They might go after Pete, that sort of a thing. Maybe Pete and Amy go after each other. I don't know. Do you think? Well, maybe I'm wondering if Amy is still viable or not. Like, she had that little bit of a rise in New Hampshire, but I don't know. That might have been a one-off thing. Okay, there's the poll. Spot 5, holy shiz.
Live Action says reports just hit.
Wow. Well, I missed that one. Wow. That 0.5 is insane. 0.5 is insane, guys. I don't think I've ever seen that number over spot 3. And that's the core number. That's the X autos number. Wow. I'm actually surprised that it didn't move further than it did off of the initial move. Like, they could have hit into the low of the day. That was crazy. Well, now that I had to chase it down 2 ticks to get filled, they're probably going to come back and stop me out. That always seems like the way it tends to go, huh?
Uzi Knesset says morning.
Good morning, Uzi. All right, Uzi coming in reminds me we should reset.
Sebastian Marquez says hi, Seth.
Hey, Sebastian. There's everybody. It was like a really quiet one at the start. And I'm like, what's going on? Oh, they must be used to me coming in 5 minutes late because that's what I've been doing. Again, I just feel so tired. I don't feel sleepy tired today. Yesterday, I felt like I didn't get enough sleep. Today, I felt like I got enough sleep, but I'm still just like not recovered because of this. Oh, come on. See that? That's exactly what I was worried about. All right, go do it. Go do it. No?
Live Action says catch latest elite trader. He made 1.2 million in latest.
Elite trader, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you talking about the Axio? Mm-hmm.
Live Action says why.
Yeah, well, that's crazy. Those Axio guys know what they're doing.
Uzi Knesset says that's the guy who trades by averaging in, isn't it?
Is the average in? I don't know. Well, the liquidity is not.
Uzi Knesset says give me
that
enough
great.
money and I can spread a trade across the entire day's range and still make money.
Well, that's the thing is if you're allowed to have a really big stop, then you can start to do some fun things. Let's say fun things that we regular people can't. Not that you want to take like more risk than reward or something like that, but you can say something like, "Oh, hey, that PPI number is high. That's really negative. I think I should sell it here." And I could sell it and I could hold like an 8 to 16 tick stop. So even if it goes up to 08, I could be like, yeah, it doesn't matter. And just hold it, Wouldn't that be nice? Whereas us regular people have to really find a good risk reward spot to take trades. Okay, they did push 02.
Live Action says true, but he puts on a lot of initial size and kinda rinse repeat.
Mm.
Uzi Knesset says you try running sim like that, pick a side of the market and just spread entries across the entire day's range. You'll see. It's staggeringly easy to come out of that green.
Like you can take profits across the range many times and you don't have to worry so much about the individual moves. Okay, well, there's a little bit of volume trading at 0.5 now. I think that there's going to be some guys here at 0.5, 01, probably even down to 31 that want fills, but I am seeing a little bit of stacking now at 03. So some of the liquidity is coming back, but they're not really pushing it quite yet.
Live Action says he only trades volatility news now, no more scalping. Uzi Knesset says 25 and ZB is midpoint of yesterday's range.
So while I'm eating here, tell me, Uzi, what do you think about 162.16, which was the previous day's low? Do you think we can get down there and past it?
Uzi Knesset says I have a downside value target at 08. I mean, anything's possible, lol. Live
Mohammed El
Action says I
Rain,
would
we're
look for
tweeting.
lows in 6C. It's been legging down for some time now.
Good. Very astute observation, Live Action. We pointed out at the beginning, 60 has been getting destroyed.
Uzi Knesset says I just have targets and levels. Whether or not we can get there is up to the next series of market orders, lol.
Okay, so you're saying you see 16 and then 08 down there, sure. Okay, what did Mohammed El Rain say? A sustainable move up in inflation would complicate A sustainable move up in inflation would complicate things for many segments of the economy and markets. While this particular U.S. inflation data surprise isn't indicative of this, it should serve as a reminder of the stagflationary effects of the ongoing coronavirus shock. So, was the producer price index up spot 5% because of coronavirus? I don't think I've ever seen that number more than spot 3. Let's go back and look at Forex Factory and the history of that particular number. CPI. Let's see here. We want core CPI, right? Excluding food and energy, yes. Okay, it was spot 5 in November of 2018. November of 2018. Wow. And then before that, it was, you have to go back to 2014 to see numbers that high. Well, they're getting a good pullback so far. Coming back to that 01, there was a little bit of liquidity there. We'll see if they can push further off of that. I think that it's worth it. Holding a here, see. Okay, gonna mute myself here again and finish this waffle.
Live Action says Seth good short in ZN, everything lined up nice.
Yeah, well, I don't know, Live Action. Like, the thing is I took it, but look, it went 3 ticks against me. So I could have executed that better. And we're not out of it yet. I mean, I want to see it go lower again. but I'm getting a lot of short-term pullback signals. So I'm going to be holding it through a pullback, which is not necessarily the greatest thing in the world. So let's not congratulate ourselves yet.
Live action says it does that a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You get in and you have what should be like the perfect spot, and then they screw you over. I really think that the market makers, they can see, oh, a lot of people caught that. They caught a good trade, but we're gonna screw them over because too many people caught it. Yeah.
Uzi Knesset says some size waiting down at 15 kinda makes me think the 16th of May get reached. Live action says think like them and you will see new opportunity.
Yeah. Well, remember the whole rock, paper, scissors thing? You can definitely, with some trades, you can look at that and say, okay, last time it worked, and so this time it's going to fail, because they always try and play off of that cognitive bias that people will try and do something that worked. So if it worked last time, a lot of people will try it again, and so he'll make it fail. Has to be the right kind of signal for that, though. Ooh, 5K. Almost 5K traded at 31, and then they immediately trade 3K to build it back up at 31.5. Interesting.
Live action says FOMC today. Masiak says hi.
How's it going? Hold on. When I'm done here eating, I'll turn the webcam back on. There's some aggressive pushback there at 31. See if they get through it or not. It's a good point to point out that it's FOMC today. That could be a reason why some people might still want to buy.
Air Cages says hello my friends. It me.
Okay, well, there could be more in this move. I always say that when I take a profit, but plus 8 is a number that I have a hard time getting more than 8. And when I saw them tick back up there, they're trading a lot of volume, and they're starting to stack at 30.
Air Cages says how are all my fellow Seth stands doing today?
That kind of concerns me a little bit. That kind of makes me think that they might try and hold this spot a little bit more aggressively than I am willing to sit through. So let's just kind of we'll take a profit and we'll see what they do. Can they make another push lower? I mean, the ZB looks like it wants 16. It would be unusual for them to get that close to 16 and not get it, but it does happen.
Uzi Knesset says that was probably the trade of the day right there. After 9 est, shit's gonna die lol. Masiak says PPI better than forecast.
It's funny that you say Masic better than forecast, because is a higher inflation really a good thing? Man, depends on your position, I suppose.
Masiak says I still long on S. Ace Trade says morning.
Good morning, Ace. Yeah, the way E-mini is moving up, I mean, like, it seems like they didn't react at all to the PPI news, and then afterwards they're able to move up a little bit. And sometimes seeing the treasuries move down can be bad for the equities, but in this particular case, it looks like a move isolated to equities. So let's look at the euro. Did the euro move off of that? Yes, it did. A little bit. They moved down a little bit, but not to new lows yet. Not yet. And 6J is just down, down, down. Look at 6J. Down, down, down. 6J is just getting slaughtered. So sometimes when you get the move out of nowhere sort of a thing, that's currencies. So I think we should keep an eye on that. Okay, I did get a higher point of control on this last bar in the ZB. So that is definitely like a hands off for me. Given that we've come back now 2 ticks, what was my average when we got out there? 30. Yep. I got out at 30. I think I did pretty damn good there. So live action. Now you can congratulate me.
Masiak says, I mean, if I play, I'll play only long position. Now I am not in market.
So one of the guys that I follow on Twitter, Ed Morrissey, who is a writer at hotair.com, is retweeting some random Twitter account that I've never heard of called
Ace Trade says at
Verbalus.
Masiak, I think you should get back in, and this time go big.
Go big. Are you messing with him? Do you have a long ace?
Ace Trade says always.
Anyways, this Verbalus guy.
Ace Trade says no, nothing stands out to me.
Oh. He says, I live in New York City, have had many issues with Bloomberg, great mayor who was uncorruptible and got stuff done. So why is Ed Morrissey retweeting that guy? Is it because he thinks that it's a paid tweet? Remember that Michael Bloomberg has been paying people to make fun of him in some sort of self-aware social media campaign that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Live Action says, very nice, funny, haven't looked at 6J in a year, and today it's turning on the only horizontal line I drew.
Well, they did turn there a little bit. Pretty big move, though, in the yen.
Uzi Knesset says, I've already made $350 photoshopping Bloomberg's face onto Dr. Cocteau from Demolition Man.
Man. I just think it's so funny, like, I see all of these people on social media. Well, not all these people. There are always articles about it. But they're totally going in, and like, I don't think that any of these people actually like Bloomberg. They just are like, hey, I'll do whatever you want if you give me the money. Whatever you want if you give me the money. Nah, I wouldn't say whatever you want if you give me the money. I would not support a product that I thought was absolute shit. Or at the very least, you know, I would have to be able to say what I honestly think about it. Like, for instance, in our
Live
Discord,
Action says, bingo, Seth.
Yeah, in our Discord we have a what is it called? Oh yeah, in our Discord we have a partner link for Earn to
Uzi
Trade.
Knesset says, oh, for sure, YouTubers and online influencers are premium modern day prostitutes.
And my general recommendation is against combines, but I know that despite what I say about combines, there are some of you that still want to do it, and you get a little bit of discount from Earn to Trade, so I stick it in there, right? I think that that's fair. But I wouldn't come out and say, "Oh, this piece of software is super great," if I didn't actually like it and would use it myself, you know? I was when I came home yesterday. I came home and I'm sitting on the television, just sitting down, uh, ready to take my nap because I usually around 5 o'clock I get super tired because that's when my
Uzi
scooter wears
Knesset
off.
says not gonna push Raid Shadow Legends, Seth.
Nope, no Raid Shadow Legends.
Uzi Knesset says face with tongue.
Anyways, the kids had a video on the from YouTube on the TV, but they had like finished watching the video that they wanted to watch and they were watching something else. And the video was they had all of these products out, like all of these different drinks, and I guess they were going to mix them together. But they were tasting the individual drinks. Like they had this Monster Energy drink that was like a new flavor of Monster Energy drink, and they were drinking it and talking about what it tastes like. And there was like an inordinate amount of time. Like if I was doing it, I would be like, we're putting this in and this in, and it would all be all about. But no, they spend like literally 20 minutes tasting all of the different things before they mix it together into the blender to do the challenge. And I'm like, why are you guys watching this? This is just paid advertising. Like this is the most obvious paid product placement I've ever seen. And they're like, no, sir, they're doing a challenge. Challenge my butt. Come on. Who comes up with a challenge like that? Oh, the challenge should be, oh, but first, before we do that, let's see what this new Monster Energy drink tastes like. And they're and of course my kids are like, why do you care so much, Seth? Because it's making you stupid. Oh, I put all this stuff in there. They're
Ace Trade says our country was built on the backs of infomercials.
yeah. It just really bothers me when I feel like I'm being conditioned. You know what I mean? Or when I see something, they're trying to condition
Ace
people's
Trade
stuff for
says
something.
and we are worse for it.
Yeah.
Uzi Knesset says YouTube tends to do that, lol.
Like the thing that I think is so crazy is when I was a kid, okay, there was advertisements on TV, right? You'd see something on TV and you'd like, oh, I really, really want that toy. When I think back on it, some of the things that I wanted as a kid, it's like, why did I want it that bad? Because really wasn't like it didn't change my life or anything like that. Maybe it was the advertising. But as kids, I think that we all kind of understood that advertisements are advertisements and that they're there to try and persuade you into doing something. And we would do our best, at least, to try and keep that in mind. But when you look at modern advertising and particularly social media manipulation, people are being conditioned and they have literally no clue. And it's particularly happening with politics. Like one of the things I think is so funny is now all of the Democrats are super concerned about social media manipulation and, you know, politicians using advertising to convince people. And I'm sitting here like, are you kidding me? You guys have been experts on this since 2006. And now you care. Okay. Okay. Whatever. And that's my kind of political life rant for today. How did we even get in on that? Oh yeah, because as he said, I already made $350 photoshopping Bloomberg's face onto Dr. Cocteau from Demolition Man. That's the guy that he has all sorts of really dumb, crazy rules, right? Like you can't swear, and we should watch. Is that on Netflix? I want to watch that today. I want to force my wife to watch that. What did I force? I forced my wife.
Live Action says, no soda energy drink for you, little man. Who can he relate to? Has a Richie Rich obnoxious personality. Uzi Knesset says he's literally Bloomberg, lol.
Man. I mean, so let's talk about Michael Bloomberg for a bit. So I don't mean this to be like, oh, I don't want you to come out of this like the big takeaway that you take from the day is Seth really doesn't like Michael Bloomberg. It's not a personal thing for me, okay? Like I couldn't care less about him because he stands zero chance of winning. And you have this like huge imbalance in the market. Like he's doing really well on Predict It. Inordinately well on Predict It. And he's doing well in the polls. And I say he stands zero chance. I think that when people come down and they actually start voting, there's no way that they're going to pick him. And if anything, Bloomberg being in the race just prevents another moderate that could actually possibly win, like Pete Buttigieg or Amy Klobuchar. It's just preventing them from getting the delegates that they're going to need on Super Tuesday to defeat Bernie Sanders. And so in the end, Michael Bloomberg being in the race may just guarantee that we get Bernie Sanders for the Democrat Party. Okay, that's what I think. And why do I think that? Michael Bloomberg has said so many dumb things that are just absolutely devastating for his candidacy. And here's the thing: Donald Trump, he said a lot of things that should be devastating to your candidacy. Like I remember when he said, "I was all along with it until he made the comment."
Like President Donald Trump.
There you go. So when I was following the last election, I was like, well, Donald Trump is probably going to be the nominee. And then he came along and he said the Muslim
says
comment.
Bloomberg will have to take the big gulp out of my cold, dead hands.
So I remember this thing where he suggested the Muslim ban. And when I heard that, initially I said, well, maybe it's actually over for him. And I was wrong about that one. And that was like the one big thing that I was wrong about last election. But maybe the context of it wasn't really put in perspective for me. Looking back now, I'm like, well, yeah, you can ban from certain countries. Why not? And that's what the Supreme Court affirmed. But anyways, at the time, I thought, oh, it's over for him. Okay. But that was the only thing that when I actually looked at the comment and what was happening, I said, oh, this could be very damaging for him. Okay. Michael Bloomberg, it's like everything that he's ever said is damaging to him and is like a career-ending statement. And it's not just like, oh, he said something that was kind of racist, but that was like 30 years ago. And when you look at no, it's like he said things in the past year that are just so ridiculously insensitive about minorities and so forth. Things that I really think make the comments that Donald Trump has said just
Live Action says
no
he voted
comparison.
on that gun control bill in Virginia before it failed.
Yeah, he said things like that minorities don't know how to behave in a corporate environment, for instance. I can't think of anything that Donald Trump has said about minorities specifically that was that bad.
ACE trays my strategy is small spoon eat.
It's always been with Donald Trump. They'll take a comment out of context and try and make a big deal out of it. And here you have something that Bloomberg has said that actually is a big deal. And I'm sitting here like, how can this guy, like, how did he even become mayor of New York? He says things like that. It's just insane. And yet here he is, he's putting all this money in. I really think that what's going on is that his candidacy has started in the media and he will fail in the media. He's going to go to it's either going to be tonight at the debate or it's going to be on Super Tuesday. He's going to come out and he's going to underperform and the media is just going to eviscerate him. The sooner that it happens, the better for the Democrat Party. But I am concerned that it will be too late and you're going to get Bernie Sanders. Concerned. I say concerned. I mean, I'm a Republican. It would be a great thing for Republicans, but I want both parties to do well. I really do. I want both parties to be doing smart things because I think that it's only through the interplay between the two parties that America is successful. And when I see the two parties just at each other's throat and not getting anything done, that's bad for the country. And when I see one party becomes a complete absolute joke and the other party just takes complete control, like it did after 9/11 with George Bush, that wasn't a good thing. So I would like to see both
Live
parties do
Action
well.
says he really is a lost man with a lot of money he doesn't know what to do with.
Right. Well, and I just can't imagine like his state of mind. Like, does he really think that spending all of this money is gonna give him the presidency? I just don't see it, man. How can he think that? You mean he had a good move up there? Maybe we should have taken something around 30. I was looking at 33.80. So it's not that spectacular. It looks like it on the chart, though. Oh, are we actually down on the week? We are still down on the week. How is that? Yeah, but not for long. It's going to be at 33.82, and then we're going to be positive on all time frames in the E-mini. Government sources trade deal between India and U.S. is not struck. The Minister of Commerce and his U.S. counterpart have decided to engage in talks. Both countries will have wide-ranging discussion and will have a free trade agreement later. Good, I love India.
Vincenzo C. says all the money Bloomberg spent already could have gone to so many better places.
Right. And people are saying that, like, projected how much he's going to spend. It's like $100 per voter. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And I don't think it's going to work. Really don't. I think that there's a lot of low information voters out there. When they take polls, they'll say, yeah, I've heard of Bloomberg. I kind of support him. Well, when they come down to vote, they're not going to do it.
Live Action says he's buying delegates.
He's buying delegates, yeah. I mean, if this came down to a brokered convention, then he stands a good chance. I mean, like, say he does well on Super Tuesday and he gets enough delegates to at least stay in the game so that he can potentially stop Bernie Sanders from becoming nominee and force a brokered convention, you know? Then at that point, then I think that in a brokered convention, he might stand a chance, because once you get there on the convention floor and everybody's talking and everything, they're going to realize that Bernie Sanders just doesn't stand a chance in a general election, you know? And if Michael Bloomberg is their only alternative, then they might just do it, because at that point they're going to say, well, Michael Bloomberg might not be able to defeat Donald Trump, but at the very least we can save our down ballot candidates, right? That's what they're going to say. So maybe he stands a chance in that situation. But right now, I'm still of the feeling that they're not going to get that far, you know? So, yeah.
Live Action says I can't wait for him and Trump complains he didn't get a footstool. Vincenzo C. says if I became a billionaire I would build Vincenzo hospitals for my ego before spending it on a presidency.
Is my 10-year chart is off? It is. I'm going to restart NinjaTrader. I've had this before, huh? Like, I'm still getting tick data, but yeah, some thread somewhere has died. Error marking. Well, I thought I got rid of that error. ZT0420 does not exist in the instrument manager. Why do I have 04? Okay, well. So now I tried to shut down NinjaTrader and it's not going, so that tells me that I definitely had something die. Oh, there we go now. Now it went away. Vincenzo. What are Vincenzo hospitals? I tell you what, if I was a billionaire, I would buy a ton of stocks and just hold them. Something that really bothers me. We've talked about this before, but I'll just say it again because it really bothers me. But um, why do people hate when you're a billionaire and you have money in stocks? The Democrats think that when you have a money in stock that is just sitting there and it's not doing anything for the economy. Like they really believe that. I don't think they realize that money, that's how you pay employees. That's how you make new facilities. That's how you improve your efficiency and grow an economy. Putting your money in stocks when you don't need to, in my opinion, is a charitable thing. That money is going to do more good helping to fund the operations of good companies than it will almost anywhere else. Now, of course, I think that there's a lot of money, and the money can go to a lot of different things like charitable works and stuff. Although you got to be careful with charities because a lot of charities are just. Ugh. But anyways, it's not a bad thing to have money in stocks and bonds. It's a really good thing for society. And everybody, goes after Jeff Bezos because he has so much net worth and all this stuff. And I'm like, really? Oh my gosh, it so bothers me. There's just this complete economic illiteracy out there about even simple things that people don't even understand the most basic things about the way that this world works. Okay, so now that things have reloaded, I am getting some errors. So I'm not getting this one. But why am I getting error calling on market data on method on bar -1? And then this one, it doesn't like that. Okay, so we can fix that, I think. So why is the 2 and 10? Why would it be looking for an 0420? Okay, well, so for starters, we don't need it on the CL. So that's probably what causing that one. Cool. And this one, that's our new indicator. Well, let's fix that. On market data on bar -1. On market data bar -1. You are accessing a value that is invalid since it is out of range. On market data. My profile. So if I just clear all this, and I refresh this particular chart right here, do I get the error? Not so far. That one worked. What about this one? Okay, let's try restarting NinjaTrader again. See if we can get it to show up. So that's a weird error. Shouldn't be happening. Well, Treasury's back above 0.005. They were at 0.1 for a bit there. So they're kind of threatening to go down again. Okay, there's my output window. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm getting my exports. Both of my ZB charts loaded without issue. Oh, I know what it is. It's not this workspace. Yeah. Okay. So it's because it's on the other one and that one is not running on each tick, and so it fails because it's still sitting there in the development workspace. That's what's going on. E-mini hitting into new highs here ahead of the open. Is it just going to be one of those up days? I'm wondering. Some of these are not. Is it still loading? Like it didn't give me the exporting ZF, for instance. Let's close that. And then workspaces. And just close the development workspace. Okay. That should take care of the errors that we've seen. We'll just clear that and make sure. Run it for a while and see if we get any new ones. Why do I see 655? Oh, that did happen. The red book. We have Fed Kashkari, FOMC minutes. And look at them tick back up again in the treasury. I tell you what, we took an amazing trade. I guess it wasn't really an amazing trade. It was really kind of a McFly, wasn't it? It was really a McFly. Like, it was just so obvious. Hey, we got spot 4. We're going to move down. Clicky click. Those were bids. Oh, those are bids way far away, though. Starting to think I should change. I like to see all of them, but I really don't. I like the click for everything, but I really don't like looking over there and seeing it and then going, oh yeah, position is 41, 42. Like, maybe I should have a way of like making those darker or something, so that they don't, so that you can immediately dismiss them. Well, there's an iceberg, pretty big iceberg at 20. I'm interested that Ace came in, said hi to us, but he didn't have a trade today. It's unusual. Could have gone long. I don't know. Even on my chart, the it's a little questionable if you should have taken a long. At the top of the hour we were inside bars, so I guess you could have said continuation, but there's a lot of tails on these current ones. Like, this is a hammer. Current bar is a hammer at the high, which is kind of interesting, but could potentially suggest higher. Let's see if the volume really comes in on the open. I think it would be better if they sold on the open. If they sold on the open and then give us a chance to buy in somewhere. Rather than just buying up and kind of doing what they did yesterday, where they buy up, but they kind of struggle, but eventually do end up going up. Because then you get a choppy trade that is harder to hold, right? Tesla reveals more details about Gigafactory in Berlin. U.S. Treasury yields dip over fears that the coronavirus may disrupt global supply chains. Expert traders talk about global risk sentiment, the flat yield curve, and the latest news from Apple. This being tweeted from CME Active Trader account. Oh, I've never heard of that. I should follow it.
RJ Wheels says funny Bloomberg is same height as Putin.
He's 5'8", right? This is the thing that I find so either the what they put out there about his height is dead wrong, or they're making a big deal over, being 1 inch below
Live
average.
Action says in addition to 6E, 6B broke yesterday low but don't like it here. S may gap fill, but I don't think it will be a clean one. A couple of hiccups on the way.
What do you think is going to be the low of the year in 6E? What do you think can be the low of the year in 6E? I think that we should come over here charts. Okay, so here's like my daily charts. Here's the daily in the 10-year treasury. I think that we should duplicate this in a new tab. Let's move these volume profiles over here. Okay. And this should be 6E.
Live action says need wheelie.
Need weekly. Oh my gosh, yes you do. Holy batch.
Live action says daily too short.
Just getting creamed. Okay. Let's get rid of some of these. We don't need this spread on there. Don't even really care about the average true range, to be honest. So we'll get rid of that too. What is the default that it gives us on a weekly? 1825 days. Okay. So, what was this? In March of... What week was this? 2017. What was happening in 2017?
Masiak says like yesterday
Brexit?
on S for start trading, but later was up move.
Was that April 2017? When was Brexit vote? Brexit vote. A referendum took place on the 23rd of June 2016. So that was way back here. That was this. So some came down. I'm not quite sure what happened in 2017 that caused that. But it was probably Brexit related. And we're right at it. Oh, well, I can see why that might have been the one line you drew on your chart and they bounced off of it. Okay. But they still have some room to go to get to like lows. And still a good 8 cents to get to parity with the dollar. Here comes the E-mini open. Oh man, can you imagine if the 6E goes to parity? Well, I tell you what. I'm willing to brave the what is all of the issues that they have in France.
Says 6E on top of balance here and needs to hold 1.06266.
I hear people say, "Oh, France has so many issues right now. I wouldn't want to travel to that country." But you know what? If the dollar is at parity, or the dollar is worth more than the euro, I think we're going to Paris. I think so. Oh my god! I had frames missed due to rendering lag there. So I'm not sure what caused that, but ooh, that sold that E-mini hard. So that was what we wanted. And did not go far enough. If we're going to see an expanding
says,
range.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Michael. Hey, if we're going to see an expanding range, that's going to have to go way further.
Live action says maybe you wanted it.
Oh, that's right. It was this one. Okay. Oh, look at that buy. Woo. Okay. So the buy is good. I'm wondering, do we get any kind of an outside bar? Not really. So I don't think I have a very good trade right here. Even though it looks like it's moving really good. Plus it's, the open, it's going to be volatile. I would say that is one of the more volatile opens we've seen here lately, isn't it? Will it get marked as an out? I forget. I don't think that I have the outside bar marker on here. Because I don't see any on my chart. Surely there's one somewhere. Like, isn't that one an outside bar? Oh. Outside bars, outside bars. Should be lawn, green, and magenta. Okay, well, we'll just wait. That one's definitely going to be an outside bar, so it should paint as such, right? Oh, by the way, Michael, good morning. Attorney General William Barr has told people close to him he's considering quitting his post because President Trump won't stop tweeting about Justice Department cases. He really should stop tweeting about them. I mean, like, it's okay to be like, hey, this particular thing is not okay and stuff, but you know what? I don't have a very well formed thought there. I think that there are some things that are okay to tweet about, but I say that he's definitely taken it too far. I really don't think that Barr would quit, though.
Live Action says Seth, you're right. Trump has Twitter OCD.
Yeah. Well, he's ADHD and Twitter is his hyperfocus.
Masiak says nice reshuffle on S.
Yeah. Pretty wild move there, but not pretty wild. I mean, this is what the E-mini used to do every day, isn't it? But that was a little bit more volatile than what I'm used to as of late. Seeing numbers everywhere and all this, I'm like, whoa, what? It does look like they are somewhat balanced around the open. They just like went both ways and then came back. I don't know. Well, this is why we don't trade the first, 10, 15 minutes or so of the E-mini. Sanders spokesperson basically says Bloomberg had heart attacks. Media point that out. Sanders supporters respond by pointing out Bloomberg had stents implanted for a blockage, which is not a heart attack and is not what was alleged. Does this formula feel familiar? Yes, it does. The Bloomberg is intentionally saying something that's not true to call attention to Bernie Sanders' health problems. They'll say it's not true, but he did he did have
Live action says I am short ZWZS6E long S.
George Zimmerman suing Warren and Buttigieg over alleged defamation in Trayvon Martin case. Yeah. By the way, Treasury's looking really disorganized here in this area between 26 and 28. Plenty controls are just like all over the place, so.
Masiak says I was in market on S, but my trading is take couple ticks and out and wait for another chance.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to take an opportunity in ES, but I don't know if I have a reliable setup here. So I might just have to pass on it today. Well, we'll see what happens.
Live action says ZW out.
Now remind me, which one is ZW? Those are... I'll find it. Oh, that's wheat. Wheat. And what is ZS? Soybeans. Curious. I understand why you would be trading those, though. So yeah, that
Live action
last
says
bar
I
ended up
should
being a
maybe hold at
doji.
support here, may look for a low break. Masiak says most I take position on correct strong move and always in trend never agains.
I was interested to see if that would be an outside bar, and it didn't. Although one of the things is that they didn't extend over on the lower side. So unless we see another push down that makes a lower low, it looks like that the pressure is very much higher still. So the trade might be to take the open and try and get 33.88 or something like that. Right now, it's not in a place that I can really take a trade. Oh, okay, that one is an inside bar. Or sorry, an outside bar. It was an outside bar higher. So it does do it. I'm just colorblind.
Live action says out beans.
So if I take out, let's see here. Well, that one doesn't really make sense.
Live action says S third off.
It looks like that they're on their way up and just in a trend up. I can't really see the expanding range because I don't see any expansion lower at all. And the 10-year not really telling me much of anything either. Well, I haven't gotten any errors, but I'm noticing
Live
that
action says S closing all.
Oh, I have an indicator on here that I don't need. So trading a bit of volume here, 3384. 88 was the gap, right?
Live action says wheat short again.
Let's put it there.
Duper's Delight says Redbubble's trailing stop loss option works great.
Is that a NinjaTrader 8 indicator?
Duper's Delight says sorry, meant to say Robinhood.
Robinhood.
Live action says weed out.
You realize this is a futures trading stream, right?
Air Cages says trading live today.
I mean, if we had taken one in the E-mini, could be live. But the one that we took there in the treasury was not, no. I wish. But unfortunately, until probably third quarter of this year, we can't really afford to take that kind of risk in the 10-year. Because, gotta pay hospital bills and things like that. So, well, we're doing okay in the ES. In the micros, rather. Okay, that's weird. Everything. Oh, okay. Yeah, something's wrong with this particular chart because it's not doing the delta correctly. Now Donald Trump talking about the Logan Act. I'd be careful. He is like out there on the warpath, likely to tweet something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I am saying? Why does this chart take so long to rebuild? I think there is something wrong with it. You know what? Maybe I should come in here and delete some data. Don't think we really need anymore. You all but accused Michael Flynn of treason for talking to world leaders on behalf of the incoming president, and now you want to pretend that secretly colluding with the terrorist regime overseas to undermine U.S. foreign policy is perfectly
Wheels
kosher?
says PBS and NPR are in the firing line.
That's Donald Trump retweeting Sean Davis. Oh, I don't even remember where the data goes now. Cache. Ugh, look at how many things I've created. See all that? That's all of my cached data. It's still not doing it. Well, you know what? I'm gonna delete all of it. Data series. Oh, we really only need 3 days on this one. Okay. Loading tick replay on 3 days. Aha, better. Okay. Same with this one on the ES. How many days are we loaded? 3 days. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. E-mini pushing higher. So today would be a good test here.
Live action says Dangerua short S here.
You see it's a dangerous short here? I do not yet see the short.
Masiak says never, cheeky smiley face.
Dollar up, gold up, equities up. Something's got to give here, folks. He's right. That's Rand Squawk just tweeting just buy everything. Oh man. Not everything is up. The treasuries are down. I'm gonna point that out to Mr. Rand Squawk.
Live action says SO out.
But gold is up. I think that means that you should short gold, but I don't trade gold. Don't listen to me. That's not a recommendation. I am not a certified financial advisor. Any trade ideas that I might espouse on the stream are my opinion and my opinion only. And you assume all risk for any trade that you take. Mm-hmm. Just in, Andrew Yang joining CNN as political commentator. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, right? Of course. Of course. Man. Freaking funny. Of course, Andrew Yang becomes a political commentator for CNN. I really don't think that he would be able to provide that much value, but we'll see. It's like, you did good, Andrew. Here's your reward. We'll give you a post on CNN. Remind me again, how do we, there we go. I fix it. How do we get these indicators to be to the top? I fix it.
RJ Wheels says hang with Young. Sundays at 8.
Hang with Yang.
Masiak says at live action you take short on S?
Why did she say young? Is that how it's pronounced in Chinese? Is Young? Should his name really be Andrew Yang?
RJ Wheels says FOMC Day Snooze Fest.
Yeah, in the treasuries, it kind of, after the initial move down on the PPI data, it really did turn into a snoozer, didn't it? Although I find the action in the E-mini, even though I don't necessarily see a reliable trade in it, I do see the action in there looking interesting to me. Interesting is the best I can give you. I do have a few things over here that suggest that they don't have much more room to go on the long side in ES. That they're going to have to pull back a little bit. Oh, Donald Trump tweeting again. Is corrupt Bloomberg News going to say what a pathetic debater Mini Mike is? That he doesn't respect our great farmers? Or that he has violated campaign finance laws at the highest and most sinister level with payoffs all over the place?
I knew this hour would be a fucking mess.
Yeah. So here's the, we talked about Mike Bloomberg a little bit earlier. And for those of you that missed it, too bad. Because I'm not going to go into it
Live
again.
action says, are you watching your charts with Mount Trades S plus 7 points, CF equals 3 ticks, ZW plus 3 points, ZS plus 1 point, still holding short on 6C for a possible break, but closing would be okay.
Yeah, where did you get in on the ES one? I mean, I remember you saying where your positions were, but I'm not watching the soybeans and wheat, but
live action says at Masiak, yes, I took the short.
Oh, you took a short on ES. Anyways, but for the Michael Bloomberg thing. So I don't think that Michael Bloomberg stands a chance of getting elected. And I think that this is all just media hype. But do you notice Donald Trump is very much paying attention to it and is tweeting about him quite a bit. So I guess there's something about Michael Bloomberg that triggers Donald Trump or something. I don't know. I don't know. But it sure seems to me that he cares more than he should.
Uzi Knesset says those two love each other.
You say that. I don't think they do. They're like opposites.
Uzi Knesset says beefs.
Scott Adams, science says we are motivated by fear of loss more than opportunity for gain. Which loss feels the largest? Bernie will take your economy. Mini Mike, will take your illusion of democracy, or Donald Trump will take away your boredom. Scott Adams makes an excellent point here. I mean, I think that this is the main reason why I simply do not see, Bernie Sanders beating Donald Trump in an election, because it'll be too scary for people. They're going to say, well, Bernie Sanders says that he's not a communist, but everybody else says that he is, and I don't know who to believe, so I'm just going to vote no on Bernie. That's what they'll do. That's the way it tends to go, at least. Okay. I might have a short here now. Well, I think that might actually be too late. Trading Floor Audio retweeted that last Trump tweet and said, this is punchy even for Trump. I do have to say, he is going after Michael Bloomberg way harder than I would expect him to. I would expect him to just ignore him, because Michael Bloomberg doesn't stand a chance of winning. But if he starts focusing on him this much, it might just help Michael.
Uzi Knesset says he wants the media to side with Bloomberg.
Perhaps. I mean, I would think that he would still want Bernie Sanders to win. I really think that Donald Trump wants to run against Bernie Sanders. Not just because he thinks he can win, but he thinks that it would mean something. You know what I mean? Like that we would defeat communism again. That's why I think that matters to Trump world more. You just win because the other opponent is inept or unlikable, like Michael Bloomberg is, then the victory would not mean all that much as it would if it was an ideological victory over communism. Yeah. 85 was the one spot where I said maybe we could take a short. I don't think that it was enough. No. I can see the turn down in volume and everything, so maybe this trade works out, but I don't think that there is enough of a signal for me to really hold my risk, unless Ace comes in here and tells us that he's straight up going short at 84 or something like that. Then otherwise, I don't think that I have enough to justify a position. Okay. So now we're below the trend line. So the issue here still is that this is a spot where it could bounce and move up again. So that's why I'm so hesitant about it.
Live Action says damn thought of reversing this 6C woulda shoulda.
Did it really move back? Now, the 6J actually went and took a dive lower, which is interesting because the treasuries did not. But the 6E, reversed up pretty good.
Masiak says yay.
Well, 85 to 83 would have been great. I don't know if that one actually qualifies for me as a trade. Like, I want to see a hammer, or sorry, a shooting star at the top. I kind of see that, but not really. Not really. So, it's kind of tepid. Like I did see the possibility for it to turn. I pointed it out, but clearly not. I thought, I missed it because I wasn't paying attention. But I think that I didn't really have enough to get in. Even though it worked, I don't think that I really actually had a trade there. Because I have Donald Trump in the squads, I'm not so sure that I really need to have him up there anymore.
Masiak says 382 may buy, I'll buy.
Well, we're coming up here on the regular session point of control. I'm still seeing a lot of tails, let's say. The Treasury. The 30-year looks pointed up again. Ooh, and I wasn't paying attention very well, but at 02, there was a pretty big order that they pushed through. I guess I should post my crypto notes, so it would be a good time to do that. Sorry about that. We got disconnected. Let's go double check our router here. Something happened in there. Y'all still there? Please say something. Here, I'll say something.
Block by. Uzi Knesset says yeah. Speculator Seth says test.
Okay. We're good. There was a block buy at 02.5.
RJ Wheel says here. Ace Trades says but yes, you are good.
I don't know why like OBS disconnected. I was sitting here wondering if it was the kids streaming stuff or something, but when I come in and look at my internet, it doesn't look like too crazy. Yeah, I think we're okay. Anyways, always saying he's in and out. Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have taken along through all of that stuff, but like, I'm just kind of looking at it. It all looks like noise to me. So I'm not so sure that this is really action that I want to trade. Feel like I'm giving that excuse a lot lately, but
Live action says our ZW still falling. I haven't checked to see what's driving because I was lazy. Maybe missed opportunity.
mm, 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 I'm typing. 3384 was still. See, like I said 85. Could have gotten 83. If you tried to hold it and let it run, it would come back on you a point, and maybe even they're going to come back up and stop us out. Yeah, this is not very clean action in the E-mini. Hmm. So the book has become really thick now in the treasuries. Is a short going to come in here in the ES? They're bidding them up. Where was the block buy at again? 3,000? Why am I
Uzi
showing
Knesset
500?
says there's a program dropping deuces into the bid pretty rapid fire on and off in ZB.
Let's switch that one back. Well, there's a lot of volume on both directions on ZB. Something that I am noticing is particularly in the 2s and 10s, I'm seeing more flattening. So I think some spread trades could be coming in here. I don't know if they all want to be short ES or what, but here they're about to potentially go back negative on the week. That 33.82 is going to be a key level.
Uzi Knesset says upside value target in ZB at 63.14 if she runs.
$14. Oh, that's really high up there, Uzi. I didn't know about that one. I mean, we're back to where I took my short from. That's pretty crazy.
Uzi Knesset says yeah kinda feel like it's gonna turn into an IB sandwich.
Look at that. Opening range high 03 in ZB. Oh, I don't have the ZN. We're not to the opening range high in the 10-year. Huh. Something's up. Somebody's at my door. Hold on a second. Ding, 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 ding. Somebody bringing something for the kids.
Live Action says it use ZI Knesset with FOMC today. You may be right, but S coming into area that may support which can be problematic for ZB.
Somebody must be putting on a big long bet for the FOMC for sure.
Uzi Knesset says yeah, if S hits support, it'd confirm the sandwich in the IB over in ZB.
This is a really significant imbalance. I mean, you want to buy 04? But they would be betting, like, the thing is they would be betting on, like,
Live action says lol sandwich.
Federal Reserve just isn't going to move rates.
Uzi Knesset says looks like sellers may be betting on it. If they're wrong, could be ugly for sellers.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, I mean, they're already done for, right? Anybody that tried to hold that is done for. The E-mini though is not like it's still kind of, well, it's actually getting slow in the E-mini despite the treasuries moving up quite aggressively. So that could have some interesting implications, like that. I mean, that definitely indicates to me that it's FOMC.
Live action says I look for these when they have to cover giving extra support to trade.
Yeah. So it's like Federal Reserve's going to continue to be easy. Treasuries move up. Equities could move up on that as well. But equities aren't going to be as affected. Alligator says it's just reversing to value high. Okay, so he's pointing out that we're 2 ticks away from the value high. So he thinks that maybe we could get up there and then they could turn back down. Well, is he wondering that? What do you think that is going to be in the FOMC meeting that people would be betting on? Well, Alligator thinks that 06 to 08 half area will be more difficult. I do say there's been some strong buys in this location, but they're not getting through.
Live action says there were bank speakers this AM. I missed it.
There were bank speakers? Well, I can see that Kaplan and Kashkari are supposed to speak today before the FOMC minutes, but like, an hour and 15 minutes from now before that happens. So, no big deal. I feel sleepy. I feel like going to sleep now. It is just, I mean, what's going on here in the treasuries should be exciting, right? I don't know. It feels slow.
Live action says good, I may catch it after all, grinning face.
The time frames here are incredibly okay. Yeah, like all of the time frames are really mixed everywhere in here. This is we're not in a trending environment. We are very much in a range bound market. They don't know what they're going to do. Yemeni bouncing up there, so I don't know if they're going to make it another step higher or not, but Atlanta Q1 GDP now forecast has changed to 2.6 versus 2.4 prior. IMF reiterated that global. Yes, that's right. That global. No. IMF reiterated the global economic growth appears to be bottoming out, though also cautioned that risks, including the coronavirus, dominate the outlook. Was Bernie Sanders tweeting? I see some people responding to him. Detroiters are having their water shut off because they can't afford outrageous water bills. Meanwhile, Nestle gets to bottle unlimited amounts of water for a few $100 a year. That is a moral outrage. Clean water must be a human right. I see. And so people are saying blame the Democrat city government. Yeah. I don't know what else to tell you. Oh, 4.5, pretty thick. What else we got going on? 5 minutes. I mean, just the way that it is being right now. Man, why am I yawning so much? That much yawning. Yawn. It sounds like my wife took the kids. Hold on a second. Because if she took the kids, they left a little bit earlier. I'm wondering if she took the baby.
Live action says Lolo.
Well, since nothing's happening, I figure we bring the baby in. He's fast asleep. You got a lot
Uzi
of crusties
Knesset
in
says
your
you
eye, though,
muted bra.
bud. You should just stop crying so much. I'm concerned about that. That's way too much. gonna have to get it. We're gonna have to get that with a washcloth. Yeah, I was muted. How are you? Ah. Got a good view? You got a good view of him?
Masiak says S go down?
I don't know. They sure flipped down on them pretty good there, didn't they? When they do those kind of turny things, there's always a good chance. Sure is. So I remember when I was, you know what? This was such a long time ago, so I don't really remember a whole lot. And sometimes I wonder, am I really remembering something, or is it like a false memory? But I remember when one time that I was talking to a market maker at Goldman Sachs, that she was more interested in the spots where the chart was twisting around. Does that make sense? So here in this chart, for them to have come up like that and then turned back down on it so much, those are spots where those big players it's easier for them to get
Live
involved.
Action says at Masiak, be careful here. Personally, I would wait for a better setup.
Yeah. Now for us retail guys, those can be like awful, right? But I think that if we're getting in that spot and we think that we have an edge, that those can be good trades. What? Are you having a good dream or a bad dream? Or am I just too loud? We gotta be quiet, guys. We gotta be quiet. This is probably dangerous because if he wakes up, he's gonna want boobies. And I don't have them.
RJ Wheels says, yeah, this definition of a flat market.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there can be really good trading opportunities in a market like this, but I'm not very good at trading it. So far, though, it looks like 83 or so is a buy and 86 is a sell. Let's see how many times they go across this range. Oh my gosh, they've got him really bundled up. Because he's got his worm swaddler on, and then he's got a regular swaddle. She really swaddled you up.
Fazula Tazabayev says good evening and good morning to everyone, who is where.
Man. Good evening and good morning to everyone who is where. Well, we're in Utah. I totally forgot that my wife's car had to be jumped yesterday because somebody left the door open. Oh. You hear that sad noise he's making? Are you dreaming about not having boobies? Yeah. Oh, now he's getting the boobie. No. Dollar index rises to the highest level since 2017. Which just so happens to coincide with the lowest that the euro dollar has been. Or euro versus dollar. No deal today among EU ambassadors on the mandate for trade negotiations with the UK work to continue the language on the level playing field and the conditions for data sharing need further work. Interesting. We need to work on the camera angle so that you guys can see him better. Well, I'd have to say things have really, really died now. We were at first we were like, oh, maybe something's gonna happen. And now
RJ Wheels says how old are your other children?
So they are 8, 9, and 11 or so. So they're much older than him. But this is my first. The other kids are stepchildren. This is the only one with my genes.
RJ Wheels says what?
That was a weird noise. Look at the 6J just getting creamed
RJ Wheels
today.
says what did they think of this little guy?
They all want to hold him all the time, pretty much. Oh. He's making the weirdest noise in his sleep. Okay. Anyways, the market is so quiet. It's about time for me to go. Anyways, I think we'll shut the stream down. It should be a really interesting FOMC minutes today. So if you have the ability to, I would stick around and see that. There might be some opportunities, but not for me. I will be going. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope you enjoy the sound of a baby crying in their sleep.
Yes, it's okay.
I will see you guys tomorrow. And in the meantime, stay profitable, friends.